Modern day women just don't qualify for the top tier men, and that is the truth.
You believe you're a top tier man? By what standard?
I'm 6'4", only about what? 8% of the entire world is 6'4". I make well over 100K a year. And I'm black at that if you add that on. So just if we're speaking about those figures, the things that women are attracted to, no, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but I'll let you do the math.
The conversation and the words that are coming out of the mouth of someone like you, I would never consider top tier. A top tier man is also a man that is extremely desirable by way of his character. A top tier man is a man who displays a certain level of intellect that allows him to consider other people. A top tier man, they lead with love, not with dictatorship, right? They don't want to control their woman. They want to gently lead their woman. A top tier man creates space for a woman to feel good about herself. A top tier man supports the dreams and the ideas of a woman. A top tier man prioritizes a woman. A top tier man is in leadership and working as hard as he is to give the woman the life of her dream.
All that stuff that you just said, that was just womanese talk.
Womanese is also 6'4", black, attractive. I don't know too many women in my circle who desire a 6'4" man still wearing braids.
Because you didn't tell me you had 4 kids.
Okay, and I was supposed to tell you that? I was supposed to tell you that right now when I just met you 2 days ago?
Yeah, you were supposed to tell me that. How you gonna lie?
I never lied. I just haven't told you yet. I have 4 kids. Okay, so what's the problem?
You got 4 kids. That's 4 other mouths to feed. What's yours?
And so what? So are you not capable of taking care of them?
4 kids? Girl, that's a whole season of responsibility that he did not RSVP for.
Yeah, I'm capable of taking care of them, but I don't want to. It's my choice.
So why did you feel like you needed to bring me to a date? You said that you would like the type of person that I am. So if that's the case, why is it that you don't want to go date me furthermore now?
I do like you. Like you cool, you fine. But you got 4 kids.
Okay,
and 4 kids is a full-time job. Just because somebody like you don't mean they signing up to take care of extra lives.
Okay, 1 kid. Okay, maybe you made a mistake. 2. You pushing it. 3? No, hell no. That's just what you do. 4, hell no. You that type of person. That's just who you are.
Okay, so that's not who I am. That's not who you asked me to
You ain't never been married and you got 4 kids.
Okay.
He not lying. And he got every right to not want to have that responsibility.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get married. So what's the problem?
At this point, it's too late. You might well stay with the niggas that you with.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And rude and disrespectful at the end of the day.
No. Ain't nobody being rude. Listen.
Men can have standards. And ain't nobody signing up for no extra lives that they did not create.
What's wrong with me being a single mother, though? Because I'm very strong at the end of the day.
Nothing. Ain't nothing wrong with you.
My kids. I'm not asking you to take care of my kids.
You're not asking me to take care of your kids, but it's going to go like that. You gonna say you're not asking me to take care of your kids now, and then when they get later down the road, I'm supposed to be responsible for them.
You know, at the end of the day, if you plan on being my husband, or if any man plan on being my husband, you're gonna eventually have to. You're gonna have to be there. Their dad's not in their life like that. They need a father figure. What do you mean?
Well, you need to call their daddy. 3 of them. You got an option. Call one of them to do something.
He pointing out the real problem. All this energy towards a man that you're dating. Where's all this energy toward the ones that created these kids with you?
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Welcome to the wall. She sees it as nothing. For kids, that's nothing. They're probably from different baby daddies. Bro, if the fathers didn't want to take responsibility, why should I, when I'm not even their dad? She says he won't take responsibility, but that's a lie. You can't be in a house with 5 mouths to feed and tell me I won't have to step up. This man is right. You should have told him, not trapped him. He's being honest, and no one wants to carry someone else's sins. And how is it that the dads aren't taking responsibility? You're not even getting child support? You're a walking red flag. You are the problem. But that doesn't have to become your problem, bro. Let her go to the wall, because the wall doesn't forgive.
For some reason, men think saying, text me when you get home safe makes them a good guy.
It doesn't? But here I thought that fell into that category known as the bare minimum.
No. A good guy texts me to make sure that I get home safe.
Hold on. How exactly is the guy supposed to know when the woman gets home Does he just magically know? Or is there going to be a line of text coming from the guy saying, "Are you home yet? Are you home yet?" And then the woman gets upset that he texts too much and is too needy.
Telling me to text you is about your comfort. You don't want to do the work, so you put the work on me.
Texting is considered to be work now?
A real nice guy takes the weight off of me and actually checks in, does the work.
Yeah, because it's a lot of work to text those little words, "I'm home."
If you cared about my safety, I feel like a man would show it with action, not just a line that he says to every girl. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I think. But no matter how much some guys do for women, whether it is just the bare minimum, or if they do actually go above and beyond, there will always be some out there that just want more because they want to feel special in that person's life. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with wanting to feel special. However, if a woman in this case has specific expectations in regards to how the other person treats them in the relationship, those things should be voiced. Men aren't mind readers. So say exactly what a person wants, and don't be so vague.
Totally. But it's well known that common sense is the rarest sense of all. These women don't know what they want. One moment they want you to take care of them. The next they say you're smothering them. And if you back off, they call you desperate. I've come to the conclusion that it's not worth the effort. Let them keep their bare minimum.
How old are you again? Are you really dipping your steak in ketchup?
So let me get this straight. This man decides to take this woman on a date, plan a date, in the stages of freaking courting her, and her main focus is to make a fucking video for TikTok. And you actually had the audacity to make a video about how this man eats his steak and the fact that he eats it with ketchup, and basically want to exploit your entire experience with said person instead of getting to know him for internet clout. Y'all come on this app all day long and cry about how men don't do shit anymore, how men don't put in effort, and all they do is the bare minimum, and unless a man is taking you to fucking Greece, y'all consider it the bare minimum. And I can almost guarantee you that this chick was like, oh yeah, this is going to be a great post, this is going to be great. Like, let that man eat. And y'all can't understand why these men don't want anything to do with any of these fucking modern day women that want to claim to be good women and date you, because all you want to do is use men for dates, money, and exploit them for freaking content so you can be viral or internet famous at the expense of somebody else who wanted to do something nice for you. And you don't think it's mentally ill to have your camera set up kind of secretly to record someone and the way that they eat their steak. You don't think it's weird to also secretly record somebody that you're supposed to be getting to know, and then you can't understand why later on he wants nothing to fucking do with you. And then you're probably going to come on the internet and cry about, where did all the good men go? Or, oh my God, he's such a fucking narcissist, blah, 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 all this bullshit to be in your victimhood, even though you perpetuate the cycle by doing this toxic ass shit in the first place. Okay, bye.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
You know what would have made that video even more interesting? If he had gone to the bathroom and left her with the bill. Modern women think they're entitled to everything. That man invited you. Maybe you ate meat that week because of that invitation. Probably at a place you'd never go to with your own money. And still, you feel morally superior, to the point of wanting to humiliate that man. That's why they end up getting left with the bill, or being told to split it 50-50ths. Because they're not even pleasant. What's the point of humiliating the guy you chose to go out with, when he's the one paying for your food? I don't know what's going on in these women's heads.
Women.
For some reason, men think saying, text me when you get home safe makes them a good guy. No, a good guy texts me to make sure that I got home safe. Telling me to text you is about your comfort. You don't want to do the work, so you put the work on me. A real nice guy takes the weight off of me and actually checks in, does the work. If you cared about my safety, I feel like a man would show it with action, not just a line that he says to every girl. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you want that man to do? Text you every 5 minutes until he successfully guesses when you're home? And the next thing we see is a woman complaining about all of the times that a man texted her, double text her, triple text her, and she'll even show the screenshots of him asking, are you home yet? Are you home yet? Are you home yet? Ladies, sometimes you just gotta chalk it up to your overthinking brain and it's getting in the way. You really don't need to try to change a man's behavior on this topic. Trust me.
Or better yet, just be the one to text him that you got home safe. You've got hands too, you can send that message. He already did all the work, invited you, paid for what you ate. You should be the one asking him if he got home safe. But no, they see a problem with everything. Modern women don't know what they want, brothers. And the ones at the wall are even worse, because the wall doesn't forgive.
But you didn't tell me you had 4 kids.
Okay, and I was supposed to tell you that? I was supposed to tell you that right then when I just met you 2 days ago?
Yeah, you were supposed to tell me that. How you gonna lie?
I never lied, I just haven't told you yet. I have 4 kids, okay, so what's the problem?
You got 4 kids, that's 4 other mouths to feed. What's
Okay,
yours?
and so what? So are you not capable of taking care of us?
Yeah, I'm capable of taking care of them, but I don't want to. It's my choice.
So why did you feel like you needed to bring me to a date? You said that you like the type of person that I am, so if that's the case, why is it that you don't want to go date me furthermore now?
I do like you. Like you cool, you fine. But you got 4 kids.
Okay, and?
Was you ever married?
No, I was not. I got 3 baby daddies.
Okay, but damn, you got 3 baby daddies. See, I know. No. Baby girl, I ain't got no problem. Listen, I like you. You cool. Man, listen, one baby daddy.
It's not even cool at this point. One baby daddy what? I don't have one baby, I have 3.
Okay, 1 kid. Okay, maybe you made a mistake. 2. You pushing it. 3? No.
That man is fighting for his life because you can tell that he really does like this woman. But he just keeps on getting slammed with worse and worse news. Honestly, that man is just disappointed because it is very disappointing when you meet somebody online and they're not completely open and honest about themselves having children. I don't think that's fair. And that is because it is a common, well-known deal breaker for some people, especially people that obviously don't have kids. Knowing that it's a common deal breaker for men and women, that is why that should be provided up front before one person puts in all of the time and effort into planning and paying for a date, which is, come on, always the man. Honestly, that man, you can tell, is not even mad. He's just really disappointed. He put in the time and effort and he probably was pretty excited for this date. It seems like that she was a really cool girl. He seemed to be really into her, but he has deal breakers and kudos to him for standing by that.
She could be Miss Universe, but any man will think twice before getting involved with a woman who has 4 small kids. No wallet can handle that. 1 child in this country is already expensive. Imagine 4. And the worst part, they're not even yours. And no one's going to thank you for it. When that kid grows up and tells you, "You're not my dad," what are you going to do? You're mad because he disrespected you with the truth. I'm not saying this woman doesn't deserve a man, but God's best warrior hasn't knocked on her door yet to take on that battle. That man didn't run because he was being recorded. But if it were me, I wouldn't even argue. I'd pay the bill and walk away. The faster you run from problems, the better your life turns out.
When I do choose to go on a date, I want you to feed me. I don't want to just go for drinks. And I feel like a lot of people will say like a coffee date or like, let's just go for drinks and like see if we vibe and then let's do dinner the next time. I see that as like, you're cheap. No, let's go to dinner. Let me see the way you order. Let's see your mannerisms. Let's see the vibes. You're going to order 1 dessert or 2 desserts. Let's see how generous you are. And I don't know, like I feel like already when you're going on a date, you're taking a risk. So like if you're not willing to like take the risk and feed me and you're only like down to take me for drinks, I find that weird. Like I'm not into that.
I've said this before, but I think the message needs to be said again. Listen up. If somebody wants to do coffee as a first date, this is somebody who goes on a lot of first dates and not a lot of second dates, or they're very cheap. And I do not care what any other relationship expert wants to say here. The cuckoo things they say, the truth is the truth. You don't like it? Sorry, I can't help it.
Oh, hell no!
Welcome to the wall. 2 women on the wall complaining about the coffee date. They should be grateful that men invite them out for coffee. The coffee date will always be the best option. It's quick, it's for getting to know each other, and you don't have to spend a fortune on a woman you don't even like. Besides, sitting for hours at a table with someone after realizing in the first 15 minutes that you don't want to see her again is, to me, a waste of time.
Women.
I don't accept coffee dates from men either. That just takes too little planning and too low effort for it to be a date, in my opinion. My opinion. Y'all come into my comment section saying pick better men when I complain about men harassing me in public or a shitty experience with a man. But then you get mad when we actually have standards. And it's okay if you don't agree with my standard, because then you shouldn't fucking date me. You shouldn't be interested in me. But since men will put it in literally anything, they think that every single woman talking on this app is an invitation for them to comment because they think it was meant for them. I don't look at every single guy on this app and think he's attractive, let alone want to date him. But once again, you guys will literally put it in anything. I myself hardly ever just go and grab a coffee. I'm grabbing a coffee, I'm grabbing a meal. So I'm not personally going to accept less on a date than I would give myself anyway. You're not a mind reader. I don't expect you to know that I don't usually take myself out for just coffee. Just like how previously I hadn't expected you to throw a temper tantrum about my standards. But now I'm a little inclined to assume that since there's so many of you throwing temper tantrums about this. If you want to do a coffee date, find somebody who matches your energy. Simple as that. You don't need to go bully some woman on the internet for having higher standards than you. Black woman at that, because you're fucking racist.
Guys have commented on my videos saying that they find it annoying when a woman won't do a coffee date. Let me just be transparent with you. A lot of my friends here in the city are corporate girlies. They're working really intense jobs, which a lot of people have to do to survive in the city. A lot of my friends would absolutely not do a coffee date, not for the reasons that you might think, but actually because a lot of my girlfriends are in a masculine energy during the day. They're in their logical brain. They're getting stuff done, action orientated. They're quite dominant. They want to get home, have a little reset, get back into their feminine energy, dress how they want to, kind of reset, and then go out into the dating world. Not that they think you're cheap and they just don't want to do a coffee date, actually because they don't want to show up in that masculine energy during the day. So don't take it personally. Just organize something after 5 p.m. so she can get back into her feminine energy and show up how she wants to.
Nowadays, telling the truth is enough to get you labeled. If you respond to a black woman, you're automatically called racist. It doesn't matter if you're criticizing her idea, they turn it into a personal attack. That's manipulation, not an argument. And about coffee dates, I'll say it again. Those are their standards, but we also have a choice. I also have the right not to take you somewhere you wouldn't go with your own money. Like you said, I wouldn't go on a date I wouldn't give myself. Well then, why should I take you on a first date to a place where even you wouldn't spend your own money? Why do we have to spend hundreds of dollars just so you can go to a fancy spot and take pictures where everything shows up? Except the one footing the bill. Because a man who respects himself isn't anyone's free meal. A woman who's truly interested will even go for a walk in the park. The rest can stay alone with their standards.
The only reason y'all have a problem with a woman not wanting to go on a coffee date is because she's fat and ugly. And in our society, the less attractive you are, the less standards people think you should have. You see, y'all will preach all day long about having higher standards and, expecting more and requiring more out of people instead of just giving in to the bare fucking minimum. But anytime someone does say this, y'all take their looks into account. Like, that's what fucking matters. Like a person who's 40 pounds overweight, how dare you, lady, want to go to be picked up, brought flowers, and taken to dinner as a date. But meanwhile, the IG baddie, y'all saying that, hey, flowers, taking to Nobu is the bare fucking minimum. Y'all will consistently say, stop objectifying women, but then y'all literally put like price tags depending on how they look. It's crazy. And it isn't just men doing it, it's men and women doing this. And my whole take all the time has always been raise your standards if you have low standards. And what do I mean by that is standards is like how you expect to be treated and how people treat you, right? That's your standards. I always tell people like, hey, understand your preferences is going to be what hinders the fuck out of you. But hey, I digress.
It's not about that. It's because she wants to condition you to play by her rules. The expensive restaurant might impress, but it doesn't mean anything. Plenty of guys drop thousands on dinner and aren't even looking for anything serious. A coffee, on the other hand, is honest. That's where you see someone's real intentions, to get to know you in a simple space, with no pressure and the freedom to leave whenever you want. To have a straightforward conversation and leave the door open for a second date if there was good chemistry. That's the ideal. And as a man, I've always supported putting in more effort on the second date, because by then you have some guarantee that she likes you, or at least that she's interested. That's when you can invest in a more elaborate date to impress or win her over. But if you blow a ton of money on the first date, what do you think she'll expect for the second one? You'll end up burning through your whole paycheck just to eat out. That's why I don't take advice from simp guys. They don't say anything logical.
I'm gonna get shit for this, but this is why I think you should say no if you get asked on a coffee date. Obviously, there are special exceptions. If someone is sober and doesn't drink, I totally get it. But we're talking like a man who definitely goes out and drinks is asking you to go on a coffee date. This is why I say no. It's just my personal opinion that I think that when someone asks me on a coffee date, it's telling me I go on so many dates that I can't afford to take you for drinks anymore. Like I'm a serial dater. That's what it communicates to me. So because I serial date so much and I have literally been spending all my money on cocktails on other women, we're gonna go get coffee. Hope that's okay. I would personally much rather do like a walk on the beach with like a glass of wine or a sunset picnic. This isn't a work meeting for me. Okay, babes? That's just my opinion. I think when you ask me on a coffee date, that's why I'm saying no. It's giving I date the entire city of Los Angeles and I can't take you to drinks.
So I came across this video of this young woman saying that she will not go out on coffee dates because she looks too good and because they're low effort. Really? Here's the problem that we have in dating. We have average people that want more than average results. Let me explain something. If a woman likes you, if she's really attracted to you, not if she wants a free meal, not if she's bored and she just wants something to do, not if she's just dating to have fun. If she's really into you and you suggest a coffee date, she gonna be there. But that's only if she's attracted to you. See, a lot of women are not really attracted to men. They just want princess treatment, free meals, attention. Here's where we are in dating right now. Men have been played and burnt so many times with these expensive first dates that they would rather find a woman who's really into him, take her on a coffee date, and then if the date is going good and we vibing, then we'll go somewhere else. Maybe we'll go for a really nice dinner. Maybe we'll go to Top Golf. Maybe we'll go somewhere and listen to some live music or have some drinks. There's other dates that you can do that's not coffee dates that are affordable and make sense. For instance, you can meet at happy hour at a nice restaurant like Ruth Chris or Fleming's or whatnot. They have happy hour specials, drink specials. They have appetizers. And you can sit there in a nice environment where she can get dressed up because she says, I ain't getting dressed up for a coffee date, and have a conversation. But that's not really what she wants. What she wants is princess treatment without even liking the guy. Because if a woman likes a guy, if he says, meet me in the middle of the street, she's there.
Damn!
No, that man is telling you he wants to get to know you with all 5 senses fully present. But since you're used to going out with chads who always offer alcohol to set up their wild nights, they only take you to bed because they gave you a free dinner. That says more about you than it does about the guy. Of course, there are exceptions. If it's a man you really like, then you'll accept anything from him. But with the rest, it's a free dinner with drinks, no questions asked. A man who understands the game knows the first date isn't for splurging, it's for evaluating. If there's chemistry, then the second date is when you make plans, invest, and give special treatment. But the first one is a test, because you don't know if the person in front of you is a princess or hours of hell with someone unbearable, whether it's a man or a woman. Stop trying to fulfill some dinner fantasy she wouldn't even pay for herself.
I have not done a video about my hate for coffee dates in a very, very long time. So I'm going to talk about why I hate it, what it means when somebody asks you on a coffee date, and what to say when they do so you don't have to go. But in the best way ever. Hang on. Why don't I like coffee dates? As a professional matchmaker for over 17 years, when people tell me that they prefer coffee dates, what they're also telling me right away is they either only go on a lot of first dates because they're so picky they never like anybody, so they're probably not going to like you anyway, or nobody usually ever likes them. So if nobody ever likes them, you're probably not going to either. So there's no point to coffee. The other thing is that maybe because they go on a lot of first meetings all the time, they don't want to spend the money. They're cheap. But here's what you're going to say when they do. When a man suggests coffee, you're going to say, even in text, you can say this, or on a call, whatever, but always get on a call before you ever go out anyway. Oh, come on. Coffee is so unsexy. Winky face. And stop talking. Don't say anything else. Don't make excuses. Don't explain. Just wait and see what they do. Now, there will be those people that still want to go to coffee. That tells you everything you need to know. I would advise not meeting them. And there will be some people who will drop in the comments and they'll say, but I met my husband that way, or I met the guy I'm dating that way, or the woman, whatever. Sure, there's exceptions to everything. But those exceptions that you want to give me are few and far between. Extremely rare, especially these days, that it will ever work out. Because I am telling you, I'm 100% right that these people go on a ton of first dates, almost never like anybody, or nobody likes them, or they're just cheap. Who wants that? Hope it helps.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
17 years as a matchmaker, and you still end up single, and you still haven't learned a thing. Literally, the one selling doesn't consume. And on top of that, she criticizes coffee dates because, according to her, they're not sexy or cheap. Of course, easy to say that when it was never her money. The first date isn't meant to finance a luxurious night for a stranger. Coffee is quick, cheap, and honest. That's more than enough to see if there's chemistry. The man who drops hundreds on a first date is just paying for a pretty picture he's not even in. And afterward, the same woman who enjoyed the dinner tells him she's not interested. Something that could have been figured out over a quick coffee. Don't waste your time, brother. If she really wants to get to know you, she'll accept the coffee.
Women.
More women are tending to be the ones who file for divorce, and more women are tending to be the ones that have infidelity. And what I was just on a call with 4 other therapists that I'm training, and we're all sharing that we're seeing the same trend. And we were talking about how it usually plays out. And typically a woman will ask for what they want and what they need, whether it's more help with the household chores or the kids.
There is a very clear double standard where if a man cheats, it's the man's fault, and where if a woman cheats, it is the man's fault. I have said this before, and I will say it again. There is no excuse for cheating, but I'm going to take it a step further. In today's world and where I live, where most of my audience lives, there are no reasons to cheat. Because nobody's forcing you to stay in a relationship. You can leave whenever you want. So for a woman to choose to cheat, it is just as selfish as when a man decides to cheat. And the bottom line, the truth, is that women benefit from marriage, and they also benefit from divorce. Mix that in with this toxic mindset that a lot of women have due to social media. They are not making the best choices, and there's really nobody else's fault but for them.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Welcome to the wall. I totally agree with this woman. This therapist was going to use the old trick of, I cheated because you neglected me. No man should have to constantly watch out to make sure his woman doesn't cheat on him. Most women, even married ones, always have suitors, young men, older men. There's always someone around. It's the woman who lets the man in. So when a woman cheats, remember this, she let him in. But they always look for reasons to romanticize what they did, always searching for someone to blame, and it's never themselves. That's why, brother, don't forgive a cheater, she never changes. Just watch the next story, it's a good one, about how a man finds out he was cheated on for over 2 years, and worse, in one of the most humiliating revelations for this poor guy in the following video.
Am I the astronaut for storming out of a gender reveal that turned into a cheating reveal? So I, 33 male, was married to my wife, Emma, 31 female, for 5 years. Keyword was. We've been having a bit of a rough patch lately, mostly due to her being distant and constantly texting someone. We'll go ahead and red flag this. Every time I asked, she'd say it was her new group chat with the moms from yoga. She doesn't do yoga. Now enter my sister Tina, 29 female. Tina is extra, like wedding at Disney World wearing a Cinderella dress extra. So when she announced she was pregnant, we all braced ourselves for the inevitable gender reveal extravaganza. Sure enough, she throws a massive backyard party with catered food, fireworks, and a 4-tier cake. She also announces there will be a special surprise twist that no one will see coming. She was correct. So picture this. Everyone's in the yard, counting down for the big reveal. The plan is to pop a giant balloon that will shower us in pink or blue confetti. Boom! Balloon pops. It's purple? Confused silence. Then on the screen behind her, a video starts playing. It's footage of Emma and Tina's husband, let's call him Bryce, kissing in multiple occasions over multiple weeks. The twist? Tina knew. She hired a private investigator, got the footage, and then used her own gender reveal as an expose. Because the final screen said, it's a girl, and the father is single now. Bye, Bryce. Emma turned to me, mouth open. Bryce tried to run, but got tackled by Tina's cousin. He used to play semi-pro football. Tina took a bite of the cake, toasted herself with a pink champagne, and said, I always knew I'd make headlines. I left the party, blocked Emma, filed for divorce 2 days later. Some of my family is mad at me for storming out. Instead of hearing Emma out and letting her explain, I'm sorry, I was publicly cheated on, blindsided in front of 40 people, and found out my marriage was over next to a bouncy castle on a grazing table shaped like a baby bottle.
Damn!
Brothers, just imagine what that man was going through in front of his family and friends. Well-dressed, with his wife at his side, the woman he proudly introduced. And in the revelation, that balloon bursts, and so does his whole life. He discovers that his marital problems, her change in attitude, his wife's disconnection, already had an explanation. She was doing everything, even yoga, in another man's bed. It's tough. I can imagine the rage, the pain, and the urge to smash Bryce's face. For me, this man did the best thing. He walked away. He didn't argue, didn't give her time to talk or play the victim. He simply left. Later, he filed for divorce. This man respects himself, and he was absolutely right in what he did. But let's continue.
I think I had every right to storm out. Fast forward to after I filed for divorce and went full no contact with Emma. I started putting together the timeline of how long she'd been cheating with my sister's now ex-husband, Bryce. I thought maybe a couple of months. Try 2 freaking years. I found emails, receipts, old hotel bookings under work trips, even a Spotify playlist titled Sweaty Secrets, flame emoji, that was shared between them. They had been sneaking around since early pandemic lockdowns. Apparently, when Bryce and Tina stayed with us for a month during quarantine, that's when it started. In my house. On my Peloton, apparently. Yes, that was in one of the texts. I've since gotten rid of it. The text for the Peloton. Those aren't cheap. Emma even had a burner Snapchat under the name Emily Peach emoji to talk to him. That account was linked to my iPad. I saw everything. Every cringy selfie. Every I wish you were the father of my baby message. More on that in a second. Now for the Tina side of things. Turns out she suspected the affair months ago when she noticed Bryce would only ever text Emma while he was in the bathroom. She found a group chat on his iPad labeled Golf Buddies, subtle, and saw the proof. And Tina, she didn't scream, she didn't cry, she plotted. She confronted Emma in private, and Emma apparently said, and I quote, "You and I both know I'm a better match for Bryce. You just got there first."
Whoa, bitch.
So Tina went full Lifetime movie. She ordered a fake pregnancy test online. She had a friend who's a makeup artist, Photoshop and ultrasound using a template from Canva. She scheduled a fake OB appointment and put it on a shared Google Calendar. She planned the whole gender reveal as a massive revenge event and told no one, not even me, not until the balloon exploded, and my marriage did too. After the party went down, I called Tina and asked, why not just tell me? Okay, thank goodness, because that was the first question I had. Like, why wouldn't you communicate? She said, because if I told you, you would have given Emma the benefit of the doubt. You needed to see it. And she wasn't wrong. Also, yes, she did lie about being pregnant.
this shit up.
This man's sister was also watching him get played. There's nothing more vengeful than a woman. The most shameless one was the wife, Emma. Because the sister, Tina, confronted her, and Emma went as far as saying she would be a better partner for Bryce. That makes it clear she was doing it consciously and wasn't going to stop because she liked that man. I understand why the sister didn't tell him directly. She knew that if she did, he might forgive her, sweep it under the rug, and keep going. But by humiliating her publicly, in front of friends and family, there was no way to hide that he'd been cheated on. Everyone saw it. That's why I think his reaction was the right one, leaving the marriage and cutting off all conversation with Emma. But let's see how it ended. Let's continue.
Women.
She says she has no regrets and that men fake being emotionally available all the time, so I just balanced the scales. She's in therapy now, don't worry. Emma tried to reach out to explain, but I blocked her everywhere. My lawyer says she's trying to drag out the divorce now because she wants to salvage the friendship. The friendship? You torched it with a scented candle from your illicit hotel nightstand. As for Bryce, he's reportedly crashing on someone's couch and posted a cryptic Instagram story that said, "Real love isn't afraid to burn down the past." Tina and I are weirdly closer now. We've trauma bonded over betrayal and barbecue. We hosted a post-divorce party. It felt right. Anyway, not sure if you'll end up reading this or not, Dusty, but I'm free, I'm furious, and I'm Pelotonless. But I'll survive. You here, OP? Are you okay? I mean, you seem okay, OP, but damn. Let's talk about Tina for a second.
I was like invested in that story. I was like I was being read a f***ing story, and I was like, tell me more.
It sounds like an episode of something. The plotting, like instead of going full Daenerys Targaryen and burning them all, she took her time and plotted this. The fake pregnancy is wowza.
What the fuck? So wait, okay. So Tina is Emma's sister, or is I'm like I need
Let's back up. Let's back
board
up.
with the threads and like where everything is supposed to
OP's
go.
sister, not Emma's sister.
Okay, Tina
OP's
is
sister.
OP's sister, so
Yes.
Emma's sister-in-law, and so she slept with her brother-in-law.
Yeah. By marriage.
I mean, by more than slept. They had a 2-year relationship. So damn.
I still don't like the fact that Tina did not talk to her brother about it and be like, "Hey,
No, 100%.
your wife's around on
I
you."
do think that's a hard way for OP to find out. Like, I get it. It was petty as f***, but I get it. But when it involves someone else at the party and they don't know, like, that's rough. Like, that's a hard way. Like he said, between a grazing board shaped like a baby bottle and a bouncy castle.
Yeah.
His whole world just crumbled.
From this story, we can learn 2 things. Brothers, never let brothers, cousins, or brothers-in-law into your home. Personally, I've never liked that because betrayal doesn't usually come from the enemy. It almost always comes from someone close, from the one you least expect. Second, always have respect for yourself. Keep your self-esteem high. Women cheat more than men, and that's why you must pay attention to your woman's behavior. Look her in the eyes, analyze her, notice how she acts. When there are sudden changes, sound the alarms. A man who observes quickly realizes when something isn't right. As for the sister, she also suffered. She took revenge. She didn't tell her brother because he was probably a beta provider who would have forgiven his wife. For me, she acted well, because some men only react when the pain is too great, and as long as they can sweep it under the rug, they will. But what do you think?
Fact of the day about cheating women. So women who cheat, generally, what happens is they're so wrapped up in this guy they're having an affair with, emotionally or physically or both, that they become very mean to the man they're actually in a relationship with. So their husband at home, they start attacking him for no reason and just be like, "Oh, fuck off, you're so annoying," kind of like. And it's not nice. I feel they do this to push the guy away so that he leaves the relationship and he will never actually find out they're cheating. And also, if a man leaves the relationship, the woman's in a slightly more vulnerable position. So I suppose the man's more likely to pay for a life after cheating too. And he'll never know.
It's funny because it's true.
Once a woman is cheating on you, everything bothers her, nothing feels right. Everything you do for her starts to annoy her. Even your presence. The mistreatment begins, the psychological games. And it's no coincidence. She wants to push you to be the one who ends the relationship, so she can play the victim instead of being the guilty one. That's why it's almost always the woman who files for divorce. She knows the man is more reluctant, more willing to endure and try to fix things. But when she wants out, especially if there's another man, she'll look to leave before you find out she's unfaithful, so you can't complicate things for her in the divorce. And since divorces take time, during that process, the other man magically appears. It's all part of a plan. That's why I tell you, learn to read your woman's body language, her facial expressions, so you can spot when she's lying to you.
I am a man that looks like a woman.
No, I'm not trying to be rude here, but in their words, they're a man that looks like a woman. Okay, so they're a man. But they say they look like a woman. How? I don't see it. Is it the long hair that makes a person think they look like a woman? Because not every woman has long hair, and lots of manly men, very manly men, have long hair as well. So that doesn't a woman make. And is that part of what makes a man look like a woman? Because that doesn't necessarily make a woman either. But then there's this.
And if that enrages you, then you're probably transphobic. Or something.
Yeah, I think it would be the or something. Because I don't think anybody's enraged. I honestly just think that most of them are confused.
Oh, hell no!
Welcome to the wall. Personally, I couldn't care less how you choose to define yourself. What I don't agree with is being forced to call you an eagle just because tomorrow you decide to be one. I'm really the kind of man who doesn't like getting involved in other people's issues. I learned that from my father, who used to say, I don't solve problems that aren't mine. So I'm sure, just like those who will watch this video, that we don't care what you do with your life. Let's move on.
Your most attractive friends are single. Yep. Here's why. I know you know. I know you're thinking of that one friend, like that one Becky that you're like, she's hot as fuck, but she literally has never had a boyfriend. Yeah, here's why. The boys, the men, the Jimmy, the John, the James are all afraid of getting their ego hurt, okay? Men go for who they can, and women go for who they want. And when you go for someone that you want, not knowing if they want you back, sometimes you get rejected. But because men are so scared of getting their ego hurt, they won't go for someone that they think will say no to them or will reject them. Because God forbid, Jimmy John Jr. has to get rejected. How is he going to explain that to his friends? He thinks he's macho man. Girls don't just go for what they can. They have standards and they don't just go for, the bottom of the barrel, but men settle, and that's the truth.
So, when no one's chasing after you and you're lonelier than the sun at noon, suddenly it's because men are afraid to fall in love with a goddess like you. It's never because your attitude is off or because you're unbearable. No, it's none of that. It's because men are cowards. Women never stop to think that maybe they're the problem, that men are actually rejecting them. A lot of guys would rather be with the calm girl than with someone who already looks like a walking invoice from a mile away. Men don't want high-maintenance women. They want down-to-earth women who will join them in building a life, not show up with unrealistic standards.
What's your age?
25.
Are you single?
Yes.
Living in Miami now, would you date a man who is making less money than you are currently?
Yes.
What makes you even open to dating a man who's making less than you?
Honestly, I don't think it's about the money. It's more the connection. And I think if you can build each other up and he wants to be, he wants a partner to do that, then I think that's the important part.
So you walk into Moxie's right now, you see a cute bartender. Do you actually think to yourself, we might be able to make something work? Or do you instantly go, he's a bartender, ew, I could never do that?
No, I'm not like that. No, like I said, waiter, waitress, whatever, like they're still, maybe it's their start to something. Maybe they're starting, maybe they're trying to excel. Maybe there's another career for them out there, but they need, time and someone to push them.
So you're not looking for an already built man. You're looking for one that's building?
Yeah, I can help build too.
What do you expect out of a relationship from a man when it comes on to the financials?
I think it should be whatever you feel you can provide and whatever you feel you can add to the relationship. So, if, he's not making as much money as I am, okay, maybe I'll put a little bit more into bills and stuff like that. Reverse the situation. If I'm not, then he'll, take the lead like next week or something.
She says she'd date a man who makes less, even a waiter. Sounds nice, sounds humble, but we all know how it really works. She's not talking about the average guy at the local cafe. She's talking about the good-looking bartender at the nightclub, the one who hooks up with women every weekend and throws in free drinks. That guy gets a shot because he brings status and excitement. That's the kind of man she's referring to, the one who can get her a few free drinks. I'm sure the average guy won't get a chance. She'll say, I have my standards. She's willing to help out a Chad or a guy on her level, not just anyone. Don't doubt it. It's just sweet talk to avoid looking like she's only in it for personal gain.
Women.
This whole princess treatment video really got me thinking about how there's so many of us women who are actively choosing to be single because we'd rather focus our energy on becoming the woman of our dreams than seeking out the quote-unquote man of our dreams. We're figuring out how to love ourselves as we are right now in this present moment, as the patriarchy is trying to tell us that we should be prettier, thinner, quieter, less ambitious, less educated, taking up minimal space so that we can really fold ourselves into that surrogate mother-sized role that these unequipped type of men are carving out of their lives for us to fulfill. And we're over it. Not only are we working on decentering men, but we're putting in an effort to recenter ourselves, center other women and non-men. We're out here, we're diving into psychology, we're unraveling our patterns, we're working through our emotional trauma, we're looking into attachment theory, we're figuring out how to fall in love with new hobbies, nurturing friendships, feeding our curiosity, investing in our dreams and our future. I'll be talking to married colleagues or customers about how I'm not looking for a relationship right now, and with good intention they'll be like, oh, don't worry, your perfect guy's out there. And I'm like, I don't want it. I'm bi. I'm not even looking for my dream lady right now. There's such an incredible movement of women who in the past have poured our heart, our soul, our energy into our romantic relationships and who are now prioritizing becoming the love of our own lives. So if you're also in the midst of this process of centering yourself, I am so proud of you, girl, and I cannot wait for all of us to bloom into the badass bitches that have been inside of us all along. And who runs the world? Girls!
A woman with a cow ring in her nose, over 35, criticizing men when she doesn't even like men. There's really nothing more to say. In feminist collectives, it becomes clear why they're always pushing laws against men. It's all about control or suppression. It's because a lot of those spaces are filled with bisexual or lesbian women who just want to attack straight men. And it's even worse if you're a straight white man. Worse still if you're attractive. To them, you represent everything that's wrong with the world. That's why I believe there should be a group that defends men, because if men came together, even the economy would shake.
First of all, you don't go nowhere without no money. I don't give a damn who you with. If you do not have no money, stay your ass at home. Baby, you have other priorities that you need to be worrying about than going out to eat. Second of all, real friends are not going to allow you to sit there and be hungry. I'm going to pay the bill, but me and my friend going to have a conversation about her communication skills. Because she should have communicated this shit to me before we got to this restaurant. And gave me the option to say, yes, I have enough money to pay for both of us, or no, I don't. You don't just bring that shit up on somebody. That shit is not cool, regardless if we're friends or not. Damn!
Personally, I would never do this to anyone, let alone record it. Now, I have to say, you just can't go out without money. I don't know if he was a friend or just some guy she went out with for a free meal, but that kind of embarrassment stays with you forever. Now I ask you, would you do this to a woman?
Smashed now, because I was talking about the problems in dating in America, how hard it is for people here and how people just don't like each other. And I feel like, the biggest things that I heard from people were that politics make it worse, social media and feminism. And all those things make it really bad for people, and people blaming those three things for having no good time in dating. And I get it, I think it's affecting other countries as well, and I had a really hard time in Australia. So I just feel like, one of the things people could do here is just, communicate more what your expectations are, how you feel our roles has to be, because people just losing that gist of how the dating should be, you know? They just don't know what to do anymore, and hopefully that can solve it a little.
Today in the United States, dating has become a political battlefield. It used to be just feminism. Now it's also politics. Whether you're MAGA, a Democrat, whether you support or don't support a certain cause, your character, your values, whether you're a good man, none of that matters anymore. What matters is if you fit the right label. The absurd part is that politics used to be kept out of love. You could vote however you wanted and still have a partner, a family, and friends. Now, if you don't think the same, you're written off. Personally, I don't talk about politics and I stay out of those conversations. But nowadays, even that bothers people. Women who say they won't date men from a certain party just because they don't think like them. The wall will keep collecting victims, brothers, because the wall doesn't forgive. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. Why are there more and more single women in the United States every day? What do you think is the main reason dating is so bad nowadays? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to create more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.